In this video, we're going to look at how to draw some basic or really kind of simplified eyes, but still to give the illusion of believability that's there. So one version, again, if you look online, there are so many different types of versions of eyes depending on the style. Eyes in anime and manga will look really different than in Western comics. Again, this is just a generalized kind of version to help you get started. Again, you'll have your own twist on these. Think of it, and one way to kind of draw the eyes, you think of it like in the shape of a diamond and plus a circle. So it's like this idea of a rounded diamond and circle. And I'm going to show you kind of an easy way to kind of get the illusion of an eye. Again, we're kind of going to use this shape, but we're going to kind of round it as we go. So we're going to kind of start with a kind of curving like in this direction, and then you're going to curve down in this direction. Again, we're kind of doing the diamond, but it's kind of like a curved diamond if it's kind of concave or convex, depending on which basically just means how it curves in different directions. Again, I'm going to replicate this kind of curve on this bottom part, and I'm going to pull up back again this way. So you can see this kind of like this alternating kind of curve on here, and this is going to give us that illusion of the outside or the overall kind of shape of our eye. So again, they're opposites, but one way I remember is that these are in the same direction, and then these two are curving in the same direction. So I'm going to get you to practice after I've kind of gone through this, just drawing some different eyes, and you can kind of bring in your own style, of course, too. So again, you can kind of practice that right now, again, traditionally or digitally, and you want to add in the actual iris and pupil as well. One thing to remember, and we're going to talk more once we get more into expressions, is that depending on the expression of your face, more of your actual iris will be showing. Like if you're really shocked and surprised, our eyes go wide, so you will see more white in your eyes. But in a very neutral position, typically our iris or our pupil is slightly covered. So I like to just draw the full circle in, and then you can always remove this part out too. So this is a very kind of neutral position that's in there. We're not going to get too much into the kind of different portions of the eye, but just kind of placing our pupil and our iris, and this is just representing a little highlight. The other thing is you kind of want to show a line as your kind of upper lid, and again, this is really stylized and really simplified, but it's just showing the kind of mass of the upper lid that's kind of bulking up there. The other thing I want to show you, again, this is really quick, is that I'm going to kind of draw in just kind of a generalized head, and again, I'm doing that draw through. I'm giving my brain that sense of a dimensionality and form that's in there, and I'm going to add on kind of the lower portions of the face just to give me an idea of where things are kind of blocked out. And when I draw eyes on here, I'm not going to draw the eyes, like if this is kind of where I'm blocking out one of my eyes, I'm not going to draw the other one the same size. This is turned away. You can see the way I've kind of positioned your character. And that's another thing too with characters. You definitely don't want to keep everyone in that generic kind of facing you only always. It's kind of boring. So you want to start kind of learning how to tilt them, and you want to be able to draw eyes that don't look totally wonky when you do tilt the face to the side. So it's kind of like a 3/4 view of the face. So you kind of can block in where your eyes would sit, but this one is going to be a little bit smaller. I'm going to talk about that in a second. I'm going to kind of turn this opacity down on this layer, just so I could draw over it and come back up here. So I'm going to utilize like this kind of shape for drawing my eye, and again, this is lots of just lots of practice, kind of going over and over again, and I didn't do the bottom very well there. Again, this eye, it's turned to the side, so their nose is kind of like blocked out here, and this eye is not going to look the same. In fact, part of it's going to be kind of covered. I'm not going to see this element of the eye on this side. So you want this to be, this one should be wider, and this one should be more narrow. My face is turned away and you're only seeing a portion of my face, you shouldn't be seeing my full eye. So one way to, as I said, to draw this is instead of going up and then down, this one will just be kind of just going in one line in one direction. And then I'm going to replicate kind of the bottom a little bit on there too. I'm going to kind of bring the bottom in as well. Again, because this should be not look the same as the eye that's kind of facing us. And then you can pop in kind of your iris and your pupil in there afterwards. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get you guys to kind of practice that. So do like a page of just different eyes, and you can use visual references too if you want. Just kind of practice that. We're going to do some expressions with how eyes change with different expressions and how the face moves shortly.